And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, my name is Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at Horizons. This is from Daily Magic Games. This was one of my anticipated games from Gen Con, and it's mostly based on looks. Now, to be fair, Daily Magic Games always look fantastic. They know how to get good art together, they know how to get good pieces together. I didn't know much else about Horizons other than it was in space, and it looked fantastic. And also, they have a track record of putting out pretty good games, so let's take a look at this one. At the beginning of the game, each player is going to get a race you can play with normal humans. Basically, the differences are that you have a color that's different, or you play with the aliens where they're going to have different actions and maybe some different positives and negative things that will happen because of that alien race you are. So once you get your race, you're going to have some structures here: 5 energy collectors, 5 metal collectors, 5 colonies. You'll have these activation tokens. There are 2 main resources in this game. There's energy and metal, and so you'll start with some of those, and also knowledge, which is another name for victory points in this game. Each player will also start with 1 Exploration League card in front of them. On a player's, I guess I should mention, you're going to build the galaxy. You'll have 1 star out in the middle per player, so this is like a 3-player game. And players will be drawing from a bag tiles. And when you draw a tile, you get to pick basically which side you put out, and you'll be placing planets around these. This will never become one board. Each star is its own thing. And the stars, there's no real movement in this game or anything. You're just trying to control different stars as the game goes by. On a player's turn, they have 2 actions. You can do the same action twice. The actions are listed here: explore, adapt, build, harvest, and conspire. When you explore, you will draw and place a new planet on the board. And you simply just place a planet and connect it to a star that's out there on the board. Now, as you place these planets, you also get a knowledge, so you get a victory point for doing that. Adapt. To be able to build on a planet, you need to adapt to that planet. Players will start the game, adapt it to 1 or more planets. And so if I just say, okay, from now on, I can now go to frozen planets. And that's basically what that token would mean here. You just place it there to show that you can go there now. You can also build. To build, you can build one of your energy collector, metal collectors, or colonies. You can build in any empty spot. So I could, for example, maybe build an energy collector or a metal collector in one of the spots on the different areas. However, you have to go by your board. So to build, I can't even build an energy thing on a frozen world, but I can build a metal collector. It would cost me 1 energy and 1 metal. If I want to build a colony, that would cost me 4 energy and 3 metal. And for each planet, there's going to be different costs and different things. So on this planet, I can build energy collectors or metal collectors, only metal, only energy, or both on a volcanic planet. You can also harvest. When you harvest, you're going to get energy and metal for each energy collector or metal collector in play. It's easy enough to remember how much you get because you can simply just look here at the numbers, and here, for example, I would get 2 of each. And then finally, I can conspire, where I will draw some mission cards. These are cards we're going to get points at the end of the game. And so I can draw 2 of these and keep 1. Players will start with some of these, and these basically are worth points if I have built a colony in every star system, or if I built 6 structures on frozen worlds, or if I have 5 of aliens of 3 different species, or I built 4 colonies and 8 other structures. And this is just basically how many players the game will be in play for, and how many points you'll get for it at the end of the game. Now, I mentioned aliens. There's some aliens here, and you will get an alien every time you adapt. So adapting will not only give you a world now that you can now put stuff on, but you get to take an alien here. There's 5 different decks of alien. Each alien pertains to one of the actions. So when you'll take it and put it in front of you. You start with the Exploration League, and you can use these. When you take this particular action, you can also use the card. When you do so, you flip it over, and then the next time you use the card, it's gone and goes back to the bottom of the pile that you pulled it from. And so you can even take an action, not planning to do that action at all, but just activate the alien card. So for example, this one here, which lets me draw a planet, the Explorer, and I can also pay 6 to get 2 points. or I can gain 1 knowledge for every 5 energy that I have, or I can gain 1 knowledge or draw or play another planet. Maybe this one here, which lets me build. So I can pay 9 to build any colony I want anywhere, or pay 1 to build something. So these cards will always have something to do with the action that you're doing. So for example, the harvest action, not only can I harvest, but I can also gain 1 energy for each of these in my hand. For each mission card in my hand, or I get 2 of energy or metal, my choice, for each planet, each star where I share a planet with someone else. This game definitely promotes sharing. When you build a structure and someone else is already there, then you both get a resource of your choice. The game is going to end when someone builds their last colony. The game will end immediately. You're then going to see who controls each of the stars that's out there. Each colony that's next in a planet that's next to a star counts for 2 control points. Other structures count for 1 control point, and whoever has the most is going to get 6 points to end the game, and second most is going to get 3. And so you'll do that for each star. You will add that up, plus any missions that you have, plus any knowledge that you may have gotten through various ways throughout the game, and whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. The components for the game, I really like the different colors that they have here. Here's the green one thrown in. These are not primary colors, and that's a nice change, especially since, the artwork for the game itself is just really well done. This is one of my favorite artists in the games, and I like how each of these aliens has a different kind of look to them, and it just, I don't know, that helps bring out some of the theme for the game. The planets are okay. They're just planets. They look fine, and the boards themselves are extremely useful. You look here and see how much everything costs, the structures, and I really like how on the other side, like for example this race can't even build in these worlds, so those are grayed out. You have different actions, but they're very clearly, they tell you what to do, and the rule book also helps in that regard. So I like that the rule book itself is very easy to understand, very clear illustrations, talks about a quick player guide, and then explains how the other different races work. And then a mission appendix, every single card in the game is mentioned. So very good rules. My only complaint maybe about the game would be the bag. Putting tiles in a bag and pulling them out. These are kind of big tiles. They're a little bigger than I would have wanted for this bag, but that's my only complaint. Everything else looks fantastic. Okay, so interestingly enough, Tasty Daily Magic is known for putting out a series of games of Valeria, the Kingdom of Valeria and the Villages of Valeria and such. Honestly, Horizons feels like it's from that line. It feels extremely similar to those games. I'm not saying this game needed to be a Valeria game. In fact, I'm glad they're getting away from that. But if you like those games, you'll like this one. And if you don't like those, you probably won't like this one. It has a lot of similarities to that. Because at its core, this is collect resources, build things, get points. Collect resources, build things, get points. To the point where I said this game is beautiful, I said it's gorgeous, it looks great, and it does. But I'm not sure there's anything desperately new here. Now, I don't think a game needs desperately new stuff to be good. And this is a good game. This is an enjoyable game. I wonder if there is a hook that will make us still be talking about this in a couple years. I suspect that there is not, but as time is now, there's still some things that I do like. My favorite thing in particular with this game is I enjoy the alien cards, that you can come out and use those cards twice and then they're gone. Although there are a few cards where you can unflip a card that you've already used and things like that, and I think that's a pretty neat idea. That plus the artwork and how they work with the actions is good. So that's the thing I like the most. Also, this is one of the few games that I think I almost prefer the symmetrical sides of the boards to the asymmetrical sides. Normally I want to play with the cool special abilities in a game. In this one, sometimes they feel restrictive. They're not necessarily restrictive, but like the one I showed you, for example, you can only build on 3 different planets. That can be problematic. Yes, you have planets and you have things that you can do to counteract that, but it didn't give the aliens a fun flavor. It just kind of gave you a few new ways to do actions. And so the theme I didn't think was as strong. In fact, the theme is not a really strong one in this game. You have these different space systems on the board. You're not moving from one space to another. There's no attacking. You're just collecting resources and building things. And the game, other than maybe the area control, where you're controlling the stuff in the middle, and occasional I took something that you wanted, does not have a lot of player interaction in it. For good or for ill, that if you're looking for that, that will depend. But I do like how all the actions feel fairly equal in their, how potent they are. Like, I want to do this action. The one that might be the least potent, which is putting out a planet, because it doesn't really help you, also gives you a victory point. So there's some benefits of that. Not to mention, if you put out a planet, you get to pick the one that hopefully you are able to go to and other players are not. This is not a long game. We're talking 45 minutes to an hour at most. It's fast, it's simple. You collect resources, flip aliens, and it's that using the aliens to modify your actions, which kind of give this game a little bit more zing than the others. So if you like the Valeria system, the system of series of games that's come from Daily Magic, this is one very similar. I like the space theme better myself, although it doesn't really come out strongly in this game. But the game is a good, solid addition to our market. If you enjoy games where you kind of build up very quickly, and also area control where you're trying to have the most in different regions, this would be one that you would like. Dice Tower Judgment approved.